to on the podcast or get trashed on the podcast as I used to. But dude, if you need to take a smoke break or drink break or whatever, feel free. Um, other
Nah,
than
I'm drug free, bro. I don't smoke
yeah,
or drink.
yeah, dude, very, very recently, um, I started like going to church, turned my life to Christ, and yeah, first thing that went out the door was the drinking, right?
That's
And
good,
then
man. That's really good.
yeah, nicotine smoke and stuff. So, um, yeah, that's good, man. It's good to know that you're healthy, staying healthy for the fam, staying
Yeah,
healthy for
and
yourself.
it's a process, bro. It's a decision, you know what I mean? And if that's something that you want to do for you in your life, man, I'm all for it. I support it, bro.
Heck yeah. Well, dude, listen, welcome to the show. This is the smoking section. We are live, guys. Influence of NXG, my man. If you want to take a second of and just do a quick introduction of yourself, and I even got, I got a little notes for myself too, and then we can
Cool.
just jump straight into it.
For those of y'all that don't know, my name is Marcus Stefan, kind of like my government name. Dance name is Influence. My first dance name was Technique back in the day. I still use that name. That's what I'm known for in the dance community in San Antonio, Texas. But of course, I adopted the Influence name more and use that as my main name just for the respect for Lame, which was my first big homie, and rest in paradise to him. He had passed away a couple of years ago in an accident, and this is why I rep the Influence name way more than the Technique name. I am a member as well as a creative director at NXG Dance Crew. Our dance crew just celebrated 17 years on December 21st last year. So we've been doing community work for years, hosted countless events for our community, countless workshops, countless sessions. I mean, you name it, we've done it. We have crew members that performed with Team Energy, which is the Spurs, the San Antonio Spurs. So my brother Spotlight is actually one of the performers right now with Team Energy. So
Nice.
basically, all of our crew members are like just super active in the community, teaching, working, performing. Like, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Like, I'm just one of the members of the amazing things that all of our crew members do.
That's amazing, bro. And I've had the chance to meet some of
Mhm.
the fam out there. I will say that you know, Cali will always be home for my crumping. The 818
Mhm.
North Hollywood Park will always be home. But if there was ever a house that I would sneak out and go to, it was San Antonio. San
Nice.
Antonio, between San Antonio and Austin, the hospitality, bro, and just I feel like maybe we could start off here. You've been to Cali, yeah?
Yes, I've been to Cali one, two, about four times.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been to four times, twice for dance and twice just for family.
Okay, so a little bit of business and a little bit of pleasure. So
Yes.
let's say whoa, how would you describe or how would you and it's cool, bro, if you want to trash us on this one, but how would you describe the vibe difference or just the hospitality differences when you go from, Texas to California and then from California back home?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the energy or the vibe of California in general is just highly competitive. I mean, this is where you go to make a career, whether you're trying to make it out in the studio community or pretty much that next level of performing with artists and stuff. So, of course, it's like cutthroat. Like you got to be up there on your skills so you can book these jobs that you want. And then same thing with the underground scene too, like the whether it's hip hop, breaking, popping, crump, like it's high skill level, like it's very competitive. So it's not so much the absence of hospitality. It's more of this is where you go to make a name for yourself in a competitive type of way. Because I mean, all dancers from around the world go to LA, the hub, like to Cali, because this is where the culture is like highly, highly like executed, if you ask me. So I mean, one of the biggest dance events in the world is freestyle session, and I was able to compete in there with one of my crew members way back in the day, and we made top 16 out of like 300 dancers, bro. So
Whoa.
it's crazy. And then the second time I was out there was to support Kill Bill, his Wasteland event. I was able to do the tournament. It was fun. I was able to battle my favorite crumper, Ruin. Shout out Ruin. And it was just a great experience, man. Like, I know like the question that you asked is like a heavy loaded question, but I just feel like it's just different types of atmospheres that you're stepping into. I know
Mhm.
with Texas, we really do focus on hospitality, showing you around, getting stuff to eat, and just really taking care of you. And I just felt like Cali just has that vibe where you got to be on your P's and Q's when it comes to skill level, period. No matter what it is, whether it's street dance, choreography, anything.
Mhm. There is a, there has always been that, like, that weird, and maybe not even weird, but it's just like it's a odd like taste in the air when, like, yeah, you pull up to some sessions or even, like, some events in LA, and you could just kind of like feel it in your teeth almost, like
Mhm.
the intensity, like everyone is very, very on. um and one thing I've noticed, like, yeah, with Texas was the whole state, to me, was very, very welcoming, even with the high intensity and high levels of talent that you guys have there in the state.
Mhm.
Um, and I think some of that edginess of Cali is going to start to kind of like round out a little bit, because one thing too, like in Austin, like, it's became such a, I mean, especially because of the comedy boom out there,
Mhm.
like live performances and stuff, and that kind of feeling is, like, just only growing. I mean, the I know the Austin movement is kind of new. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
So Austin is pretty active. It's just I feel like Austin is more like in the realm of performing and choreography. But
Ah,
just recently within the past 2 to 3 years, there's like two studios that got heavily involved with the underground scene, and they're doing really, really good with their competitions right now. I think one of them is Even Grounds. They've been doing a really good thing with their community. We actually have a crew member out there who lives in Austin who was hosting events and sessions for the past 3 to 4 years, and then recently he just made a shift to focus on his personal life because,
mm,
if you don't host events and stuff like this, like a lot of it comes from your own pockets, and there is not really a return on investment. There's no business behind it because sometimes you're putting out more money than what you even get back.
mhm.
Not saying that that is the prime reason to host an event or to host a session, but it does get expensive when you have to host these events and you're booking the DJ, you're booking the judges, you're booking if there's exhibition battles, like a lot of expenses go into play when it comes to hosting these events and sessions.
Yeah, there was a cool hole in my pocket after I did the morgue.
Hmm.
I had worked with and done some stuff on some other scales, but that one I really kind of like, I really put my brain on that one. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this kind of on my own, and just, did solely a tournament, and it was still, I was like, holy smokes. Um, yeah, and it makes me wonder, like, when you see some of these events like that have 2, 3 days, and they have 2, 3 different divisions of tournaments, and then one-on-one battles, and because it's almost pretty standard to have a, like, adults category and then a kids
Yeah.
category now, and then I've kind of been seeing, like, women's tournaments and then the men's tournaments in at some events, which is pretty cool. It can just kinda keeps things spicy, I guess.
Yeah, that's dope.
What would you say has been your favorite event that you've either yeah, that you've attended yourself?
I would say the event that kind of like made a name for myself is the Resurrection, and that was in
Mm,
Dallas. It is going to be coming back this year because shout out to my partner Pun. with the Mortal Buck platform. We're actually having the finals in Dallas at the Resurrection. So it's been a couple of years since the Resurrection happened, but not to toot my own horn and stuff, but I've won what is it, three Resurrection tournaments, and one of the ones that I was injured, I still made it to the finals, and they didn't allow me to do the tiebreaker round because my knee was already swollen when I went off to the side to adjust my knee brace, and the judges were like, "Yeah, you shouldn't dance." So I kind of felt like that was, you know,
Oh,
it was taken away from me because I was already dancing and made it to the finals, and we got a tiebreaker round, and then that's what made me work harder though for the next year for the Res 5. That's when I won that tournament. So
mm,
I would say that, and see, with this tournament for the Resurrection, like I battled dancers from all over the region. Like this tournament, we had people from the East, the Midwest, the West compete in these tournaments. So it was kind of like my way to prove myself and make a name for myself back in that time. So this was like 10 years ago. So this was like 2011 all the way to 2016 when the
mm.
Resurrection was like in full force. So as far as like favorite events, it would have to be the Resurrection hands down because I would train a year for this event.
I think I think I was coming into Crump right around. I think it was Res 4. What are we on now? What number are we on now? 5?
So I think this one would be Res. I don't know if he's going to keep the numbers, but I think this would be 7 because the last one was Resurrection 6, and that was the one when I judged the kids tournament.
Okay, then I think first started coming around during Res 5. I remember seeing footage from it.
Hmm.
And it was just I was like, "Whoa," like I remember because before that, I really just remember seeing Crump, in the old like camcorder days, 2008. That
Hmm.
was like really the last time I had really seen it. And there was a cool chunk of time where it was like, I mean, I've told this story a million times, but I stopped seeing Crump around 2009. And then yeah, it was like 2015, 2016 status that I saw it again and was like, "Oh, like I need to get closer to this. Like this is fucking awesome." And that was
Hmm.
one of the events. Res has always been one of the ones where I'm like, when it comes back, I need to be there. I need to try to make
Yeah,
that. I need
it's
to.
gonna be. I think it's gonna be in October, so definitely make plans for it because
Ooh.
it's this event is amazing. Like for those of y'all that don't know, the Resurrection was kind of the first one to coin like 2-day events, 3-day events before everybody started doing it. The Res was kind of one of the first in Crump to do a separate men's tournament, women's tournament, and then a kids tournament. Like it was kind of like at its first before all these other big events started adding it. So this, like the Resurrection, was always coined a convention, or yeah, pretty much like the Resurrection convention. Like it was a multiple day event.
Yeah, that one set a standard for I'm even saying like it set a standard for me. And then I think the res like USA especially, like people can argue worldwide, but hands down, US especially, it's one of the top events that I've always like when people are like, "Oh, what do you think is the best events in America?" The Res could not come back for another 10 years and it still has held some of the best moments,
Yes.
best tournaments, and even though I wasn't there, I already know the hospitality was amazing. I know because I've been to the state. I know how they act. So going
Hmm.
there, I know it's not like if we did that in LA, if we try to do the same thing in LA that way, I just feel like there would be a different level of because of the culture and because of that intensity of just the LA atmosphere. I just feel like it's not going to give you the same product. I feel like the universe wanted the res to happen in Texas. Like it had to
Yeah.
happen there. Which is wonderful. Um, so you did mention and I'm glad you mentioned it. You did mention Immortal Buck. Could you please explain that not only a little bit for myself, but then anybody who may not know exactly what that is going on, because it's a really cool project.
Yeah. So Immortal Buck is a platform to turn Crump into a sport. It's called Immortal Buck Crump Olympics. It was created by Antics and Pun. So those are the originators, the creators of the platform. When they first brought it out, huge success. It did amazing. I know it took like a hiatus for like a year or two. I kept pushing them like, hey, we need to bring it back. Hey, we need to bring it back. I was one of the biggest supporters because I loved the platform and I loved what it promoted. So when we brought it back, it had a successful year, and then we brought it back again, another successful year, and it's been a huge success so far within the past few years when we brought it back. So what it is basically is the Mortal Buck platform is a consistent platform throughout the whole year where we have qualifiers in different areas in the South and leading up to the championship where we will crown the top 3 in the Southern region. That's how it started. And then we would do like we had like a system where it was ranked battles, where if you're doing street battles and stuff, we keep track of your record. We start labeling you like a heavy hitter, like all these different things, vets, OGs. Like there was just like a whole tier system. And of course, when you create these platforms, there's always going to be hiccups and people complaining. You know how all that
Oh yeah.
goes. But through the years, it has been a huge success when everybody comes together. Last year was the first year where we had other dancers experience it from the Midwest and the East. Shout out to Bruto because he actually won the tournament last year. So he is the reigning champ right now. So technically the title holder is in the East right now. So
Ooh.
the overall vision of the Immortal Buck platform is to make it like an Olympic style platform to where it is a top 16 tournament. So, okay, so this is like the dream goal. Top 16 tournament. We have 4 from the West, 4 from the East, 4 from the Midwest, 4 from the South of the best into one battle, and we see it's kind of like how it is for basketball. We'll see who comes out at the end of the year, and they have bragging rights for the next year to come.
And what is the, because I love the idea of the ranked battles and keeping, so how is it that you guys are keeping track? Is it like you guys are just sending, do you send a representative to be there live,
So
or
what?
how does that work?
So we didn't bring. We need to revamp that tier system because you know how it goes when it comes to the Crumb community. When there's complaints, people try to find holes in the system and try to work this. It was just too complicated to the point to keep up with everybody's gripes and complaints. But when we did do it, when we first launched it the first year, the way we kept track of the battles is whenever the battles happen, of course, minimum 3 rounds, so it could eliminate ties. Uh, the battles were recorded, they were sent in, and then we have 3 different judges every time, for 3 different judges every month, and then the judges would vote on who would win, and then we would post all the battles and who won. They got a certain amount of points. Like it was a really great system, and this system came out before FCD started doing stuff. Or I don't think it's
Mm,
actually FCD. It's like another platform that started doing like points for battles and stuff. Like so, one
mm-hmm.
of the things that I want to make clear, especially on this podcast, is that with Crump, shout out to Pun and the Techs for all their work because the Resurrection was one of the first conventions in the Crump community for it to blow up. Pun was also another originator for creating rank systems, and also shout out to Trevor and um, why am I having a brain fart right now? Out in Mississippi, the mud. We have Tyrell and Trevor that help with the rank system as well to create the different tier levels: S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier. Like it was a really good system that we had. It's just that it just had too many complaints to where it was just too much of a headache to keep track of when people weren't giving the love and respect that it needed and
Mm,
deserved. Because you
yeah,
saw too, KCS is a phenomenal platform. So shout out to Doug and his whole team for the
yeah.
KCS platform. And you see people too. creating so much drama and negativity towards the platform, yet they were providing quality. They were providing what the bounty hunters things was so dope. It's a
That was
new
cool.
concept. Like basically, yeah, it was. It's very innovative. So with me, I just want to shout out to all those people that were the originators in their own thing and creating platforms for the community, despite all the crazy negativity and all the talk. Because we, man, especially in, I'm not gonna say any names, but I would hear stuff. I hear stuff everywhere. So when I hear stuff from, just the community of Texas about the KCS brand and stuff, but then they were the main ones to be at the event and
Yeah.
compete. So it's like, oh, okay, weren't you just talking all this smack and negativity about the platform, and then now you're competing in it? Makes sense. So it's just
It's
crazy. It's crazy.
it's it's fun to see people trash, oh, you guys really eat that food, or you eat this or eat that, and then you see them in the McDonald's fucking, you see them in the McDonald's drive-through, or you see them
Yep.
in the In-N-Out drive-through. It's like, bro, just stop. Like, you participate in the foolery too. And it was kind of disheartening, to see, especially like with the bounties. I remember seeing people complain about bounties, and I was like, fam, even the idea that somebody, is going to fiscally reward you for, 10 minutes of dancing in a parking lot on a Wednesday night is a little absurd, and you need to relax. But I do like that there was a certain I don't even know how to put it. There was a certain comment threshold that you would see of people who were, actively, you know, constructive criticism. Like, it was very active and very thorough constructive criticism. You would see very small glimmers in there from people.
Hmm.
And it was like, yeah, shout out. Well, first off, shout out Immortal Buck and what y'all are doing, because it's a
Hmm.
really cool concept. KCS and what they're doing, really cool concept. And anybody else who's out there in the community, Boy Manic, some of my buddies are also working on some other platforms, right?
Yep.
To kind of be an overarching,
The tap
you
in, the tap
yeah,
in app. Shout out to the tap in
shout out
app.
to Tap In, who are going to be, who I hope one day becomes the utility which we create these platforms to
Yep.
have a higher level of experience. Um, I think that's a I think that's a driving factor for a lot of people's issue, dude. Is it's a cool concept, and so like I read their comments, and it's like, oh, you like this because they still show up to the event, right? Like, you like this
Hmm.
idea. You are not only seeing the wrinkles, but maybe you're even experiencing some of the hiccups of this new thing.
Yeah.
And since it's not your idea,
Yep.
you're extremely frustrated with it.
That
Um,
part.
yeah, so, like, how about we just kinda back up a little bit, and we just, work with the people, be like, "Hey, man, like, this is maybe how we make this experience a little bit better, or this is how we make this a little bit more refined. Let's not be
Hmm.
so." Because, man, I would see some of the guys from KCS pop back, and I'm like, "No, no, 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 don't let 'em get under your skin, don't let 'em get under your skin, bro, like,
Yeah.
it's good, you guys are good, just hear what," like, but it does suck when you fucking open up your phone and you got 58 comments and you don't even know what's going on. It's like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, bro," like, yeah.
Yeah, it becomes overwhelming. And one of my things is like if you see problems in the system, then provide solutions. Stop with the complaining and the bickering if you're not going to provide any solutions, because now you
Mhm,
become a part of the problem.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, that was a big thing in car sales. And I think that should be a thing for people in sales, period. Is they're coming to you because they have some kind of problem, right? They need Wi-Fi, or they need a new car, or they need shoes or something. And you have to be ready to offer at least 3 solutions, bro, for every time there's a problem. And so I just don't know if you take that and substitute that into your own life. Like, the moment you think of a problem, like, don't have to repeat that, bro. We know, we all see the elephant in the room. Just offer the solutions. What are our solutions? Um, and I mean, I know sometimes people get like hella like narcissistic. It's like, well, I need to be involved in this, and this will be better if I'm in it. It's like, no, dude, just let the dudes cook. They already started cooking this a while back. Like, just let them cook.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I know that you're a part of, that you've been working closely with Immortal Bug, and you're also doing your stuff with NXG. And bro, I see you all over the place posting this and posting this and this and this, and you're everywhere. How how right now are you finding balance between all of that and the hecticness of the Crumpers page and just trying to stay like you? How do you maintain that?
Well, I guess for many years too, though, like I've always stayed true to myself. I already knew my worth back then, even when, of course, Crump has always had a certain hierarchy and how it works and how it maneuvers itself. Like even back then, when the res was the place to go and recruit little homies and stuff, like I had a lot of requests from the big names out there in Cali saying, "Oh, I need you in my fam" and stuff. And to me is like I never really took the jump automatically because I always saw it as no, because you just want to take credit from me winning tournaments. So you could be like, oh yeah, that's my little homie. And it's like, no, I put in this work.
Mhm.
You're not gonna get credit for it. And I've had many issues in the past too with some of the big names in Crump to where they try to sun me with stuff and it's like, no, like I'm educated and I know what I'm doing. Like I come from the actual dance community and I crump. So I'm not some newbie that doesn't know how the game works because
Yeah.
the hip hop culture was here before crump. And that's where I was birthed. I was born in the hip hop culture where, the real battles are in the ciphers where it's unlimited rounds. So I already came in with the mindset with the chip on my shoulder. Like that's why I always work so hard and do what I got to do. And I never fell into the whole politics of crump through the years. I never let anybody try to sun me. I don't care what your name is or how big of an influence you had. And sometimes, of course, it backfired on me, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? It happens. I mean, even now, like during, you could probably ask OGs and vets in the community of Texas, like in the southern region. Like I was one of the first in the South to mix popping, waving, tutting, and other dance styles in Crump. That's what helped me win so many tournaments. And then I did it at the time where people were looking at me. Some people in my community were looking at me, but like, that's not Crump. That's not Crump. Like, you're not even Crump. Like, of course, you have those when you're ahead of your time, people hate on you and people
Yes.
don't agree with what you're doing if you take a certain path. I took a different path. I didn't follow everybody. I took the path that nobody took, if that makes sense.
Yep. The
Like
road less traveled.
during our upbringing, yeah, during our upbringing with NXG, like we've like man, I think we need to write a book or an anime for our crew because we went through so much from all scenes. So we went through drama with the crump scene in our community, the hip hop scene, and the popping scene all at once, all together.
Yeah.
Because we were there, we didn't back down, we'd show up, we will always hear the talk. We show up to battle, and that's that. But you know how it is, like when you are not trying to go with the system or how people say it should be done, that's when the problems arise. And I felt like back then, to answer your question, is like I've always stayed in my lane. Like we've always, with me and NXG, we've always stayed in our own lane and flourished in the lane that we created.
Man, I was just talking with somebody about that, bro. There's a lot of roads to success, a lot of different roads to happiness, man, with a
Yep.
lot of lanes. And just pick one, just pick a lane, stay in it, bro, maintain it, and you'll be straight.
Yep.
I feel, and this has just been able to be in the Crump community for a while. And likewise, I first started coming around dance because I got introduced. Well, first, I was watching, America's Best Dance Crew. I think like any
Hmm.
other normal teenage kid
Yep.
during that time.
Definitely
Um,
one of the best dance shows, period. In
ever
that era, during that time, it was perfect.
Jabberwocky's Funky Town set still holds as a memory, like a core memory I remember where I was sitting down in front of the TV watching it, and I was like, this is absolutely the greatest thing I've ever watched on television. Like, this is the
Yep.
best thing. Like, no movie, no TV show, no cartoon. Like, wait, maybe when Gohan beats Cell at the end of the Cell
Yeah.
games
That's
might hold a candle to this
that's a
moment.
different lane. That's anime. So
Yeah,
we could go on for we could talk for days on that.
yeah, that might hold a candle to that moment. There's very few moments where I was like just it was so impactful. Like it really changed. And I start there. I find Crump later, right? And it was like I had already been through so much in choreo and watching kind of how people like move and shift between teams, and then these
Yeah.
teams have beef, and then oh, we're over here at this competition, and then it's like this and that, and that's all the stuff. And I just kind of noticed how people shift and move to kind of stay in the hip and stay in the conversation and stay in this and stay on that. And it's like, yeah, man, that's only one half of hip hop, bro. You gotta have like this other part where you're you, like you gotta be you. And
Yeah.
yeah, like there's this whole group of people you're trying to be included with, but who are you? Like there's no you in this. And so I've really tried to like coming into Crump, I just stay out of the don't include me in the gossip, bro. I really unless we're battling, like I really don't care. I just
Yeah.
want to have fun, dog. I'd rather laugh. I really would rather laugh and just have a good time. I mean it comes with it though. It is a sport, like there should be some healthy jibber jabber and some healthy, kind of being in so you kind of know where the competition's moving, like, oh, what's the next, where's
Yeah.
the next big tournament? Where's all the best competition going to be at? Because that's where you want to be if you want to be the best type
Make
of
a
thing.
name. Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that's okay to be in the know with, right? And kind of know the hot gossip with. Um, but we as dancers, we know how the gossip gets. It's
Yes.
all over the place.
It's already it. Yeah. I'm too grown for that. I stay away from all that.
Man, and NXG, you said, has been around now for 17 years.
Yes.
Yeah. And what is so in 17 years, you guys have been, through the ups and downs, obviously, right? But then you guys have been doing the workshops and the events, the battles, and w- so in the next 17 years, what would you have hoped to have seen done when you're looking back? If you were looking at the computer screen right now, 17 years from now,
Yeah.
where would you hope that they're at?
Oh, 17 years from now, we're definitely going to be the main hub in Texas. I'm calling it right now. Right now, like through the years, it's just been the foundation built on a hobby because everything started from fun, from hanging out with friends who love to dance. And then now, and like later on in the years, it evolved into business, into how to host this event, how to use the finances to fund the next event. Like basically all the event sessions and stuff that we've done, we've never pocketed any money. All the money gets reinvested back into the next event to pay for the DJ, the judges. So we worked on that system, on how that works. But I mean, this is the first time anybody's asked me this question, what's going to happen in the next 17 years? But it's going to, I see it on along the lines of maybe not a huge building like the Jabberwockies, but if you've been to Vegas, like Jabberwockies has a whole building, like they have their own
Mm-hmm.
headquarters. And that's something that I would love in the future, for the crew, is to have our own headquarters where we have everything. It's a one-stop shop for events, sessions, workshops. I mean, adding all of the elements within hip hop, adding all the different street dance cultures, crump, locking, popping, waving, Vogue, all that stuff. Basically, going to be the house of street dance styles, basically.
Ooh, House of Street Dance. That's a good one. And what are you going to be doing? Are you going to be, are you going to have the shoes up, or are you going to still try and be getting active with the kids?
So technically, I've already last year I've put my I retired from competing in tournaments. So last year, which was the last big event that I did, was Red Bull Dancer Style. I made top four out of 126 dancers at the Dallas qualifier. And since I made the top four, I was supposed to go to Chicago. So the top four got a free ticket to go to Chicago to compete again for the next qualifier. So the weekend that they were having the Chicago trip, I had my gender reveal for my twin boys that I have already that are here. So I put family first. I didn't go. And then one of my friends, a very active member in our community who is a veteran, so shout out to Popping Artie. He went to the Chicago qualifier, and then after the Chicago qualifier, he went to the Atlanta qualifier. And then at the Atlanta qualifier, I think he had to finish in the top two to go to the championship. So Popping Artie told me, he's like, hey man, like in all honesty, if you would have gone to Chicago and Atlanta, I felt like you would have done really, really good. So of course it becomes a what if type of
Yeah.
story in my competitive journey, but I felt like, I've been very blessed to place high in the Dallas qualifier, and I've already won 19 tournaments in my dance career so far. So I already experienced what it feels to be, I guess, a top competitor at a certain event, if that makes sense. So it's like I guess it's I felt like I didn't really miss out on much because, having my boys now, like I felt like that was a bigger success. And
Yeah.
that's gonna be my journey. That's gonna be my next project is getting my twin boys to reach levels that I wasn't even able to. So I will
Yeah.
be my journey next is just continue to provide
Mhm.
opportunities for aspiring dancers.
Man, that's yes. I think that last part, man. I think that we have too many people want to build up something,
Hmm.
right? They want to build up something, and which it's not wrong, right? But I think there's just a missing sauce in that syrup where you got to also want to build someone like
Hmm.
outside of yourself. Like outside of yourself, there's got to be what are we doing here? Like I can sit here and build this freaking stupid podcast, bro. Like I could do this for the love of the game because I love talking to people, right? And I can do it because I want to build up this platform. But like you're saying, like, and even for myself, man, I just hope one day that this is a place where in these conversations can be like, yo, you want to get out this sales pitch for this new brand you got, man? Like, go talk to Corbs, bro. He'll sit down and talk with you. He
Yeah.
loves talking to people, like, and it's easy to talk to him, man. Go talk to him. And hopefully, have like a studio where I can bring people in and we sit down and have a cool convo. Not Joe. I don't want the
Yeah.
pressure of a Joe Rogan or I don't want that, dude. I don't want to have security guards at the door. I don't want nothing high
Hey,
level like
that
that.
does sound dope though.
It's cool. It
Who
does sound
who
very
who's
cool.
to say that in your journey, since you love Texas so much, who's to say you might move to San Antonio and then we partner up and then you have your whole floor dedicated to your podcast.
That's possible, and I'm glad that you put that out in the
I'm
atmosphere.
just I'm just speaking it to existence, manifestation.
Yes, yes. Yeah, no, it is. I I started the pod because, well, one COVID, and I was just worried about my friends, and so I would call all the time, and I mean, people FaceTimed, and I know Texas was a little different during that era, but Cali was definitely locked all the way up, and I started listening to more podcasts during that time, and I was just like, "You know what, man? I just wish I could do this. This would be fun if I had the ability to get in front of somebody." And, shout out StreamYard. That's when I fucking stumbled across StreamYard, and, yeah, I was like, "Oh, I could do this remotely. I don't even need to be in the same room as someone." Like,
Hmm.
"Oh, this is dope." So, yeah, that's why 99% of my podcasts have all been remote because it's always somebody like, they're in Atlanta or they're in Ohio or they're in Vegas, Texas, or, I've done pods with people out in Australia, New Zealand, everywhere. So it's been good.
That's amazing, man.
It's
You're
been a dream.
worldwide. You're
Trying to
worldwide.
be. Trying. I feel like I'm a local. I am your worldwide local podcast host because it's just a little couple of my cool friends here, there, here and there, and here and there.
I
That's
mean,
why, dude, I was
you gotta give credit where it's due, bro. Like, smell the roses. Like, there's probably somebody watching your podcast right now that wants to do the same thing you're doing, and for them to hear, like, oh man, you've interviewed people from Australia and Atlanta, like they looking up to you, bro. So I'm just saying, enjoy your flowers.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And you know how it goes, man. Like sometimes you just got to take that step out there. You know, like
Mm.
what was that moment for you guys with NXG? What do you guys think it was like if you could look back? What was y'all step out moment?
Our
Like
our
hey, we're about to go for it.
Yeah, our step out moment was when we hosted our first event. So in our
Mm,
dance community, there was only one person, our OG, that was the only one known hosting events. Like nobody hosted an event, only him. So it was kind of like not so much a monopoly, but like or a dictatorship. It sounds like it, like when I think back, but I know when we first did our first event, it was like kind of new because it was like nobody else did an event other than that certain individual. So I think when we did our first event, it was packed. This is when we had the different divisions. We had popping as a division, breaking, crump. We had crew versus crew, and then we even had a jerking competition as well, bro. So it was like,
whoa.
yeah, that's when jerking was like really popular with Teach Me How to Jerk, You're a Jerk song. Like it was huge in our city. And I felt like that was our breakout moment was when we had our first successful event and the rest is history. Like we've hosted multiple events after that. Like literally like not to hype anything. We've probably hosted over 100 events so far throughout our 17 years.
Yeah, man. Shout out and I am going to say for sure, shout out the Texas movement as a whole, not just crump, hip hop, popping, breaking. One of the most Jabberwocky's definitely changed my life, right? But somebody who really had a huge impact in the way that I saw dancing, like the way that it actually appeared to me was Andrew Batterina.
Yeah, so
Uh,
real.
yeah, so real crew, and you know because of Andrew Batterina, I stumbled across Brian Puspos.
Yeah,
And that even added another layer because they were like the first dudes to really do like the YouTube concept video
yeah.
game thing, which people don't remember, they just like to forget these things, but I'm glad that you kind of know that
Mhm.
scene too. Um,
Yeah. I was just at their studio on Friday for their crump session.
oh, dope,
Yeah.
man.
So
Dope.
I taught a hip hop pedagogy at the TDEA conference. So it's a big conference for all the Texas educators and some educators in the surrounding areas in the southern region. So after I did my presentation later on in the evening, after some business meetings, I went to go support the crump session at Surreal Dance Studio, and it was fun.
Oh, dude, that is there was a cool second. I was in Angle Angleton, Texas? Angleton, Texas? I think it's just south of Houston. I was there and I was due to be on that site for like 7 months, 7, 8 months. And I remember it was like an hour and some change from So Real Studio, and I was like, dude, I'm about to be there every fucking weekend. Like, let's go. Like, let's go, bro. Cause for my whole life, I had always just been like, man, if I could just go dance at So Real once, just be around Batterina and be around them. Like I've interviewed him too on the pod.
That's dope.
Bro, he comes to my city a lot. He's actually really cool with one of my old coaches. Um, and then my old coach brought him in to teach some of the kids some choreo. And then there was a younger group of kids where I first started coaching and was like learning how to make choreo and all this stuff and make a mix. And Andrew came and he's like, "Hey, you made that?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, it's cool." And I like got all wet. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
he called it
You got all
cool."
excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god, he called it cool. I love this." But yeah, that really it made me like it like not verified, but it gave me like that confirmation, like, "Oh yes,
Yeah.
I'm on this right path." But that I feel like that was kind of like one of those stepping out moments. And I just find it was like it was great that it was somebody from Texas. That's why Texas has a very special spot in my heart. Um, Doing something like a TD, so Texas Dance Educators, right? TDEA, doing something like that, like where, like when you're in a room and you look around and you have all these other people, right, who are these other as well upper echelon dancers and
Mhm.
teachers, like what does that do for like how like if you rewind 17 years ago to now, right? Like we went a future to now, but in the
Yeah.
past to now, how like what do you say to young influence? Like being in that room in that place.
It's crazy. It's now thinking about that, like, yeah, it's a surreal moment. Like having, because technically dance was my second passion for life. My first passion was basketball.
Mm,
I didn't find dance till I was injured in basketball when I couldn't play. So dance was kind of found I found dance when I was like depressed, angry, sad, mad at the world because I couldn't play ball. Like that's where the passion stemmed from. And I mean, I felt like a young influence or a young technique, a young me, like I don't think I would have ever dreamed to be where I'm at now with dance because it started just from having fun and hanging out with friends.
that's
It would be
dope.
crazy. I don't think a younger me would believe it.
Yeah, man. There was days, dude, dancing in just like the locker room. There was me and these guys, bro, and we would learn, the crank that. It was like the crank that era. Crank
Yeah.
that Elroy, crank this and crank that. And we'd practice these local crank dats, and then, we'd go into the big gymnasium and the coaches would let us dance sometimes. And I just would have never expected, like
Yeah.
I think that's always when it's the best too, like you just don't ever expect it leading somewhere, and the next thing this whole thing kind of just like opens up to you, and you just keep kind of stepping out on faith, and
Yes.
making your way through it. Heck yeah, man. All right, brother. Listen, I don't want to trudge on too long. I definitely want to get a round two on the pod though soon. Um, it was a great time hearing from you, man, and hearing some of the things that you guys have accomplished and some of the things that you want to accomplish.
Hmm.
Um, it's inspiring. So I definitely want to give a second to give you your flowers. And really, bro, like I really see you out there hustling throughout the social media sphere. And even just hearing about the work that you're doing literally in this world,
Hmm.
it's inspiring, man, and it's inspiring to see NXG and everything you guys are doing. So I definitely want to say thank you and give you your flowers on that, man.
Appreciate that, and thank you for hitting me up to be a part of it, man. Like it's is a great opportunity, and I mean just to hear that it technically, bro, like you gotta own up to it too with your flowers. Like this is an international podcast, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you, brother. Before we sign out, is there any gem, any words of wisdom, some little sage that you want to spread for the people? And
Mhm.
yeah, shout out. You can shout out your businesses, Instagrams, all that.
All right, cool. So first and foremost, my life motto is practice makes progress. So no matter what you want to do or be great at, you have to practice. Like you have to put in the work. You can't be lazy and expect greatness without putting in the work for greatness. Another gem I would say too is if you want to go far, do it yourself. If you want to go far and have fun doing it, take a team of like-minded individuals with you. And then of course the businesses that we have. So of course we are looking for I do graphic designing as well. So events, flyers, workshops. I could do your flyers. I could create your shirt designs. Private lessons we do in person or online. Let's see what else. Me and my wife have a soft play rental business, so we rent tables and chairs as well as soft play. It's like what is it? I would say like a area for ages 4 and under. We recently just made a huge investment. We spent like a lot of money, like over 5K on another business that had a soft play. So basically, okay, so this is another gem. Bet on yourself. That's the best investment that you can do in your life is bet on yourself. And
Mhm.
I am practicing what I preach. Like we bet on ourselves with this whole business that we bought to add to what we already had. So at the end of the day, you just got to go for it. Be like Nike, just do it. Stop thinking. Like God blessed you with these ideas for a reason. If you don't act on them, it ain't gonna go nowhere.
True, my brother. Now, some of the truest words spoken this year on this podcast, my man. Listen, bro. Again, thank you. I can't express it enough. Anybody coming on to support the podcast means a lot to me. But having you on, man, coming and sharing some words, it means a lot, brother. But I'll hit you right now in the DMs. All right.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me. Y'all
All
take
right,
care.
brother.
Stay blessed.
You guys, that was Influence of NXG Dance Crew. It is hard to always kind of come up with this idea of how these things like impact me and impact like the whole atmosphere, right? Took the day off of work to be able to do this. I love to be able to commit the time, right? And just space afterwards because like I said, it always just weighs on my brain. Um, so I want to say moving into 2026, I want to do more of I'm trying to do at least 2 to 3 of these a month. Um, I really do believe, just like Influence said, man, I'm betting on myself with the pod this year. I want to bring more content, more people in, and hopefully not not even just for myself to be inspired, but hopefully that somebody can not only see us in front of these microphones and know that you can do it too, but these are just some of my coolest friends that are just coming on, man. And I'm allowing them just to talk about the cool stuff that they do. Yeah, so don't be afraid to hop up in front of a microphone. Don't be afraid to just jump in the pool. Don't be afraid to just join the band, man. Get out there and make some ruckus, have a good time, and things will unfold for you. Yeah. Until next time, hope you guys have a good day, week, month, year in life.